This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations: Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. The head coach of the Oakland Patriots, Kevin Creasy, joins us here this morning, and I guess I could throw out all sorts of cliches, Coach. It's the game of the century. It was an instant classic, which I guess that it really was. But you played a really good Ravenwood team, and turns out that Ravenwood's everything that you thought they would be, and you were everything Ravenwood thought that you would be.
Yeah, a lot of times these matchups that are talked about, on social media or the newspaper, don't live up to the hype, but it was a heck of a game. I think anybody that was there saw a great football game, maybe tuned in on TV or listened to it on the radio, whatever. They found out it was, 5-quarter game. It got a little extra play there going to overtime, but definitely lived up to the hype. We had a couple common opponents. I think we beat Independence 35-0. They may beat Independence 38-0. We beat Brentwood 13-12. They beat Brentwood 14-7. So, they're beating the common opponents a little bit more than we are, and they came up a little bit better than we did last night.
You have to battle a lot of things in a game. Last night you get up 14-0, and a chance, I think, to go up by 3 scores and then a turnover. I mean, those things happen in a football game, but that turned out to be pretty big.
Yeah. There was a lot of things in that game that happened that you can point to, but the momentum definitely shifted after that turnover. Our defense caused 3 turnovers, probably could have caused 5-6 turnovers if we catch the interceptions thrown right to us. But at the end of the day, they're part of the game, and unfortunately, we threw to a guy that doesn't get a lot of passes and didn't tuck it away, and didn't get necessary blocking downfield, but he was about to make a big first down for us. And it's just one of those deals where he'll learn from it, he'll get better over it, and we'll depend on him again, and he'll make a play next time and hang on to the ball. And that's just kind of what those games are for. 9 times out of 10 we're playing in a game where he doesn't have to catch a pass. We just go on without him having to do that, but his number was called, and he'll be called upon again in another big ball game. And like I said, he'll learn from that, and hopefully our team will learn from it too. First time you face adversity, you don't need the haywire switch to flip and people start losing their mind. But it seemed after that we had 3 or 4 penalties in a row. Our defense gave up 3 or 4 big third down conversions in a row, and made that thing a tight ball game right there at halftime.
Yeah, you scored the first 14, they scored the next 14, and pretty clutch field goal right at the end of the first half right there.
Yeah. We had a chance to score. We had a couple good looks in the end zone, good passes by the quarterback, good routes by the receivers, and they did a good job of getting their hands all over us, and got called for 2 pass interferences, to negate us from scoring. So credit to them for being physical down there on the goal line and making us kick. Jose Hernandez for us steady, kicked a nice field goal from a weird angle to give us a lead, but that lead was wiped out in a few plays in the third quarter.
Well, third quarter, fourth quarter, I mean, we're talking back and forth, the whole night.
Yeah, it was. After that field goal, it went back and forth. A lot of different lead changes. Momentum shifted several different times. We got stopped on 4th down a couple times. They threw a couple picks, and we had a heck of a game with those guys. And watching the film, there's a lot of things we did good, and there's a lot of things we did bad, and the bad is usually correctable. So hopefully we can get those things fixed on such a short week. But definitely found out that there's some guys that we can depend on, and that's what we're most proud of.
Well, game winds up tied at the end of regulation, and I always like to ask coaches about overtime, and overtime is such a different game, and you don't do it very often.
Yeah.
And then it shortens everything. Every possession is so important. Even the coin toss is crucial, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Yes, it is. And I started out on the defense side of the ball, and we lost a fourth-round playoff game to go to the state championship when I was at Trousdale. And it just didn't seem fair that, the offense gets the ball on the 10-yard line. Now I'm kind of happy about it as a play caller, but at the same time, a lot of people look like, you kind of play into Oakland's hands if you're in a get the ball at the 10-yard line kind of deal, and our offense is kind of built for that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, we've lost 2 games at home on 2-point conversions, and it seems like both coaches, Will Kreisky, both made the right decision to go for 2. If it doesn't work, it's the wrong decision, but both times it worked out for them. And, it's one of those deals where it's like, look, we're on the road. We're going to take advantage of, being aggressive and going for 2. And, it's still a little controversy on whether the ball kind of hit the ground right there before he caught it. But, those sort of things happen. Some of the guys from Ravenwood actually said something to me about it, but I was like, hey, it happens. What can a referee do? He's kind of blocked there. Ultimately, it didn't come down to that 2-point conversion. It came down to about 60 of the other 160 plays of that game. So back and forth with 2 good teams. And like I said, I wouldn't expect anything else from Coach Hester's team. They gave a good battle to Blackman earlier in the year. And, we knew what we were in for, and it's good for us because it's back-to-back weeks where we have quality opponents. This next week's a whole lot more important, but that's what it's going to be in the playoffs. Make a playoff run, you better be ready to gear up every single week, and, injuries are a part of the game now, so whoever's out, you better have somebody ready to roll and take their spot.
Kevin Creasy, our guest, talking Oakland football this morning. How did the coin toss go in the overtime? Did they win the coin toss?
Actually, they did, and the referee signaled that we won the coin toss, so we were really happy about that.
Because you would have gone on defense first.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the call when you win the toss, isn't it?
That's the rough part. Like I said, I've been part of some overtime losses. Like I said, back at Trousdale, we won the toss. Lost the toss, and next thing you know, we score, kick the extra point. Knoxville Fulton goes down, scores on 4th down because they knew they needed a touchdown. So they got 4 downs to get it. And then, of course, they went for 2 and, made it and sent us packing. So, I think our guys learned a lot about the gravity of the situation. I think it was just a week ago I was on this show talking about if you keep playing that many close games, you're going to come up short, giving other teams chances to knock you off. So, we've been in a lot of close games where somehow we pulled out a win and probably won some games we didn't deserve to. And then here we are, felt like we did a lot of good things last night, but just couldn't seal the deal and cost ourselves with, just costly turnovers, just one penalty after another, not converting on 4th downs, stuff that we've been doing all year. And then just on defense, we'll have them punting to us and we'll jump off sides. Just things that, they know better. Most of them have played long enough. Everybody out there is hollering, watch the ball. Next thing you know, we're still jumping. It's just human nature sometimes, but things that we can learn from. And if we don't learn from it, we ain't going to have much of a season left.
Does your play sheet in overtime on the road, you're on defense first and have offense the second on your possession? Do you go for 2 on the road? Isn't that like the logical thing to do?
That's what a lot of people claim that you're supposed to do. Like I said,
it's kind of a gut feeling, though, isn't it?
If you don't make it, you feel like an idiot. If that guy calls that pass as a skip ball, you feel like an idiot. But at the same time, it's momentum. It's a gut feeling.
It's a risk-reward thing.
Yeah, and like I said, we played over 168 snaps. So, how much more can you put out there? How much further can these guys go? But,
I'm so tired of hearing about analytics, I guess is why I'm on that, because that's like the big key thing, and you see so much of it.
There's no right answer. It's kind of like anything else, any other decision you make in football. If it works, it's a great decision. If it doesn't work, you're an idiot.
And you're the one with that on your head.
You go from genius to idiot instantaneously.
You did have to deal with, changing your lineup a little bit because of some injuries last night to some key players, and especially at running back, you guys are a bit dinged.
Yeah, we seems to be going on a lot this year, but it's a physical game we played last night, and got some guys going to the doctor, hopefully pretty soon since we play on Thursday. But I got to figure out, what the starting lineup looks like because, ultimately the doctors are making the decision, and, we need to side on the side of caution and all that stuff. These are 17, 16-year-old kids, and probably got a different lineup coming up this week, just inconsistently in our starting lineup. That's just kind of been the motto and what's happening to us all year long. But, the good news is we should be used to it. And we had some guys, Kimani Bass, for example, our 123-pound running back, goes in for our big-time Division I running back. And he goes in, first thing he does is score a 15-yard touchdown. So always good to see young guys like him step up. And he's been put in that role in that situation before, and just hadn't been that big of a ball game. And so now him getting experience like that, I think it just benefits him in the long run.
Craig Tutt, Juwan Morris, T.T. Hill all had 90 or more yards offensive output, rushing, receiving last night. Kevin Creasy, 10 of 18, almost 200 yards passing and a touchdown last night. So and got to also tip your hat to Chase Bandy, who had almost the same in terms of receptions, and including a big touchdown, about 74 yards.
Yeah, we had some, like I said, big plays, but of course they had big plays too. Busted coverages seemed to be our Achilles heel last night. I thought our defense did a good job of tackling and, like I said, forcing a fumble, forcing a couple turnovers, but ultimately we got a lot to clean up. And you play a good team like Ravenwood, it'll cost you in the end. Like I said, same thing last week I was preaching on here. You play a quality opponent and you keep these games really close. Ultimately, you're going to come up on the short end of one, and we did. And, that's unfortunate, but at the same time, I think it's good to have this short week. Hopefully we get over it pretty quick. But ultimately, this game this week's a whole lot more important. And we know it's going to be tough on the road at Riverdale.
Well, I know I've gone a little long with you here, but we've got to talk about the Battle of the Borough and playing again for at least the second year in a row, for this game being for a region title. And you've been in these games, it seems like, since you've been there, you've been in these games in terms of a chance to win the region title. I wouldn't think that it's going to take a whole lot to get you guys up for Riverdale this week.
Yeah, it's a good rivalry, and a lot of these kids know each other, but ultimately, I don't know how much fired up gets you. You came up fired up, and I think we were fired up last year when we were up on Riverdale 17-0, similar to last night up 14-0, and, it's a 48-minute ball game, so give Riverdale credit last year for coming back and beating us with a 2-point conversion. Same with Ravenwood last night. So, that fired up only lasts so long. You got to be really prepared to play a whole 48 minutes when it's, for the region title. And so last year, they won the region, and so we got sent to, on the road in the playoffs, and I think that makes a huge difference. I think if you could secure home playoffs, that's a big deal. But, ultimately, one of us is going to win, one of us is not, and we're going to be the two top seeds. But, we're all going to have our work cut out for us because the other regions that we're going to run into, they got quality teams over there. So there ain't no bad football from this point on. So I encourage everybody to come on out Thursday. I know it's Halloween, but come on out Thursday. It should be a great game.
You hope to be giving Riverdale tricks and not treats, right?
Well, we just hope we can take care of ourselves. Oakland needs to worry about Oakland. A lot of times Oakland defeats Oakland, and it seemed like that happened last night. It happened last year against Riverdale, and so we don't want Oakland to beat Oakland. We got to have other teams beat us, and sometimes it's more than 48 minutes.
Well, the oldest rivalry in the city is next Thursday night. It'll be here on the radio, and hope folks will tune in to listen. And it should be a great game. Coach, good luck on Thursday night, and we'll talk about playoffs next Saturday. How about that?
Sounds good.
That is Kevin Creasy joining us here on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Rick Hall with Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna. Give Rick a call for auto, home, business, and life insurance needs. Find out more at rayburn.net.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
I just really appreciate Danny and his whole team. I always feel like I'm going to get great service and the right outcome.
You just don't find any better people.
He's always been very good.
We've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly mile after